Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Revell 1/48 scale JU 87G-1 Stuka build. And the last time we worked on this, we did some sponge chipping on here, and I believe we did the dry brushing on the instrument panel for the cockpit. And I actually, if you look really close on the left side, I painted the little knob on there red, and on the bottom right I painted the little switch yellow just to give it some color. I looked up online and it showed that was the color of those two items. And the only other thing I plan on doing with this, I think, is I want to take my clear parts cement or window maker, and I'm gonna squirt some on here so I can control it better. And I flattened out a toothpick, and we are going to attempt to give the gauges a little glass look, a little gloss. And I zoomed in again so you could try to see a little bit better. And I'll try to make sure I keep these in the camera. I don't have a monitor, and I have to stand up and look at my phone to see what's going on down here every once in a while. That's kind of why my voice gets louder. But eventually I'll get a monitor that I'll put on the wall and be able to see what I'm doing by just looking up for a second without having to stand. But what I want to do to this, you'll notice the the sponge chipping we did around here is awfully shiny. And I did go ahead and did a little brown wash around where his feet would be for the rudder pedals, a little bit down here, and around the stick. And I also did a little black wash around there too. But I want to do a little dry brush of the around the exposed aluminum, just to kind of dirty it up a little so it isn't so shiny. And I plan on doing that on the next M3 Lee video I do will be some sponge chipping, and I plan on doing the same thing, take a rust color for that, and then just kind of dry brush over it to dull the effect down a little bit. But for this, I just kind of want to dirty it up. And so let's see what we got here for a brown. Looks like I have mud brown. Well, there you go. Shake that up a little bit. I think that's the color I used for the helmets on the pilot and the gunner, if I remember right. Or maybe it was maybe I used it for the mud brown was for the helmet, I think. And then I think maybe I did the burnt umber for the boots. It's been so long I don't remember. I think it was a burnt umber for the boots. Oh no, I do have dark brown. What am I talking about? I don't even know what paints I have. So I'm gonna go get my color palette thing out. Actually, that one's pretty used up. Let's get a new one. Got some cardstock that I cut up for all my using as a paint palette. So we'll just go ahead and get some mud brown, just kind of dab it on there. I'll get a brush, and don't need a whole lot because this isn't a very big piece. It's probably all that's gonna need. And I'll find my little dry brushing brush that I like. I believe that is you. And I'll just kind of get it, and then we'll just kind of get most of that off. And I just kind of want to dullen it a little bit. I might have took too much off there. Oh no, that was working good. I want to dullen it completely, but I don't want it to be Just kind of want to dirty the floor in areas so that it just a little bit. I imagine this is going to be used a little bit. More dirty in the floor than anything. Get a little bit more paint. It's still pretty shiny. I was kind of hoping that would have dulled it down a little bit, but that's cool. Get it really dirty. So I imagine their boots aren't always clean when they get in. These guys weren't neat freaks when they didn't clean the inside of their plane very well all the time. Collected some dust. A little bit on the top. There. So now we got some, didn't take a whole lot of the shiny off, but it made it a little dirty. Like so. That's probably all I'll do for that. Let's go ahead and let that dry for a little while. I am going to clean my brush real quick because I have a terrible habit of forgetting to do that. And then what we'll do next is we'll try to make some lenses for the, see if that goes a little bit better. I shouldn't say a little bit better. This actually turned out a lot like I wanted it, just kind of dirtying the floor up a little bit so it isn't all. I like variation and fade in my paint. Especially if it's a model that I'm going to do for a diorama. I don't want it to look like a brand new, came off the factory line. But that's just me. Like I always try to encourage people, make it's your model, you build it the way you want to. If you want your plane to look brand new, you go for it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be sitting on your shelf or wherever, and you got to be happy with it. So I'll set that off. Got that nice and clean. Won't have to worry about it dried out brush like I have in the past. So now I'm going to squeeze a small amount of this out, and we are gonna, the glasses are gonna have to come off, and let's try to make some instrument cluster lenses here. That's excessive. That comes out of there very well. I don't use this enough to remember how quick that comes out, but I should have known better. And like I said, I flattened it out a little bit because I want to kind of just get a little on there like that, and then I'm going to dab it on like that. That is the plan. We'll see how it goes. And I'm going to just concentrate on the bigger gauges because the little ones you really aren't going to see, I don't think. And basically just doing a downward pressing motion. So it kind of just almost dollops it on there. Well, not really dollop, but I'll see if I can't get this up here. Looks kind of milky right now, but it, like you've probably seen in the bottle, it looks like that until it dries, and then it dries clear. That's what I'm doing. I got them two big ones on the left there, and then the big one to the very left there by the red knob. And I will just continue doing that. Until all the gauges are getting kind of a big buildup on there. There we go. Just want the very tip of it. Pretty much just stamping it on, actually. Probably would have been a better way to describe the action. A shame I use so much. That's going to be wasted. And just so you'll notice that I'm kind of wiping it off and doing it again for each individual lens, because I only really want to touch them all once. If I can. And succeed there. There we go. I'll try to give you another look. All the big ones are, see if the light can take advantage of my... How close can we get? It's actually not focusing too bad from what I see. And off to the right you can see the yellow switch really well, and then the red one is kind of hard to see. It was a smaller knob. There, now I can get some reflection for you. And a big old shot of my all the lines in my hand. Alright. I have a bad habit of not showing the close-up of what I do. Need to do better at that. But I will put that off to the side, because that's what I wanted to basically do for the instrument cluster on this particular model. And now, let's see, we did that. We did the dry brushing of the dust to dirty that up a little bit. Now we need to glue our pilot and our gunner into position. Because after this, we are going to attach these to the fuselage halves. But as far as the fuselage shafts go, that little yellow wire, I debated on using this wire to create it, because it's the little wire is just a little bit bigger than the detail they have molded in there. But then I thought maybe I'll try masking off where I don't want it and where that wire is molded in. Maybe try to dry brush it in the yellow to see if I can get kind of a dirty yellow wire looking. I don't know, just something about that detail when I saw it in the photo. It's something I just feel I need to do. But I will bring that... Oh, my shirt sleeve is coming undone. I'm going to bring that little... Oh no, my glue one. There it is. We use that from the last one we did, because we want some glue now. We're going to super glue the pilot and the gunner into position. And I've already scratched off where the contact points are, where they contacted the seat. It was kind of weird. This one here, the pilot, is pretty much right here. So that's where I'm going to glue there, and then just put it into place there, like that. And then the gunner was more on his rear end, and then it just stuck, but it's got a smaller seat, as you see there. So let's get some glue out, and it's time to permanently attach our figures to their final sitting places here. I like to use a toothpick when I do any super gluing because I make a mess with that bottle sometimes. When you try to squeeze it, it'll kind of do a bubble. It'll like bubble, bubble, bubble before it finally gives you the actual glue. So I just find it easier doing it this way. I think I'll do you that. Put that last, and we shall get our pilot out. Yeah, the rear of the pilot didn't really sit on the seat the way it's molded. So you there. I'm just going to kind of hold them in the position here for a little bit, let that set up. Already starting to set up good. And I kept the pilot and the gunner pretty clean. I debated on whether I wanted to gloss coat them and try to do one of my washes on panel line washes on them. And I think I'm going to do that for the Willys or Willis Jeep build. We'll get the figure all painted, and then I'll gloss coat them or clear coat them, and try a panel line wash on that one. It's a bigger figure, and I'll just let you set up too. The pilot set up really fast. Just kind of let it sit into place there. It's kind of weird when I put the pilot together. You see this control stick's way up here, and then the hand is there, and this hand I think is supposed to represent him grabbing the control for maybe the throttle or something. I don't know, but then this guy's got one hand, left hand on his chest, and the other one down by his legs, so there we have it. I'll try to get a closer shot of these guys before they go into the plane. Like so. Nice dirtied up floor there, area. And there's our gunner. Then of course we got our one more. Let's see if that's starting to clear up a little bit. That'll give it a little reflective property to it. But I think that's good for the cockpit area and all that stuff. I am going to try to dry brush that yellow wire that I wanted to do. Then I'll give everything a dull coat with a tester's dull coat just to make sure that it's not... This is a flat clear coat that I used for here, but it did not do like the tester's dull coat does. It actually makes it look like a dull sun faded kind of finish. It doesn't have that. This almost looks more satiny to me, so I want to hit it with spray it with that. So that's the plan on there, and then we'll get the fuselage halves together and do some taping off of the cockpit area, and we'll get it in the booth for some primer. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I thank everybody for the comments and everybody who subscribed. And if you're just joining this project here, there's other videos ahead of this showing the entire build of this plane. And if you enjoy it, please subscribe and like and share if you would. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next time.